But the latest we have, and it's quite a significant one, is that if United were to allow Rashford to leave, it's understood United are now leaning towards a straight loan and then reassessing his future in the summer. Adding an option would be considered, but the price would have to be right for Manchester United. So leaning towards a straight loan, but assessing his future at the end of the season is a really interesting one for me. Of course, you've just heard from Conceição there, AC Milan. We know there's interest from Italy and Spain. And yesterday we told you there was tentative interest here in the Premier League from West Ham United.
And some words from the Manchester United manager today?
Yes, I mean, it's always good. I mean, the topic is the FA Cup, but there's plenty of transfer talk today. And Ruben Amorim spoke to us earlier on the Rashford situation.
We will see, guys. Let's focus on the game. They are available. They are training. We will see the selection for this game. They have to focus just in playing the next game.
Short and sweet. Let's come to you, Mark McAdam. Two players that have been in the spotlight this week: Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho. Some clarity on them from Amorim today.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing when you've got a game so close that you know the manager is going to be facing the media. So those questions about transfers and players, he can actually clear a little bit up. And that's exactly what he's done under these circumstances, because we said on Wednesday that we believe, despite some media speculation, that Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho were not for sale. They're not actively looking to sell those players. I know there were some reports suggesting that because of PSR, and particularly with Kobbie Mainoo, he would represent 100% profit, which would be good to offset any issues that they may or may not have with regards to meeting the financial requirements. Kobbie Mainoo is a slightly different situation as well, because he's actually got a contract until 2027 with Manchester United holding a year option. So therefore, he's not running down his contract. Manchester United hold all the cards, and he's very much a key player as far as they're concerned moving forward. And that's exactly what Ruben Amorim has been saying to the media today when he was specifically asked about Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho. Here's what he said to us.
My players are always my favorites. So I really love my players. I want to keep my players, especially the talented ones. So, like I said, it's a special moment in this club. It's a hard moment, we will see. But of course, I'm really happy with Kobbie. He's improving, and also with Garna. I don't remember to say clearly that I want new players. What I said is that sometimes the profile for this system is different. And the players come here with a different idea how to play. What I said is that we need to improve recruitment. When we are targeting players, we need to have sure that they will cope with the demands. Our idea is always to keep the best players and the players that we build for this club. But we know the position that the club is in the moment. We will see, but I'm very happy, and I really like our players, especially the guys from the academy.
That's Ruben Amorim speaking a little bit earlier today, and some information just in from Manchester United.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about this player. I get the feeling for quite some time. He always seems to feature in transfer windows, and it feels like this is the window where potentially he'll move. Randall Kolo Muani, 26-year-old PSG striker. He's been linked with Manchester United, and he's very much still a player of interest with regards to Manchester United. However, our information is there's been no further contact since their initial inquiry. Now, we know that doesn't mean it's off the table. Could they decide to look at it in the summer if he was still to be available? PSG are open to the move and would like to sell Muani in this transfer window if possible. He's only made 2 Ligue 1 starts this season, 8 substitute appearances. He's not started a Champions League game. Game time has been hard to come by, and you get the feeling that his time in Paris is coming to an end. He has a contract until 2028 at PSG, so they hold the cards with regards to any potential sale or loan. But what I think is really interesting is the fact that since that initial inquiry, Manchester United haven't gone back to the negotiating table to say, hang on, let's have another conversation here, which may lead you to think that someone else in the Premier League, Michael, could be interested.
Yeah, Tottenham, on my understanding, is still interested in the forwards. He can play across the whole front three. Spurs looking for reinforcements there. Of course, they've signed Anthony Kinski, and he made a fantastic debut against Liverpool. They've got the goalie they want. People are asking me whether they're going to get a defender in. I think the priority is a forward. And Mawani, yes, there is interest.
And it's one of those where a move might suit all three parties this window. That's what makes deals happen. The selling club, the buying or loaning club, and the player it would work for all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whichever club.
Yeah, and as I say, if Spurs retain the interest, and it must be said that the owners of PSG have a very good relationship with Daniel Levy.
OK. Let's move on to Manchester City, who we expect to be busy this month. The club are actively pushing to sign 3 new players. We put that to Pep Guardiola today.
I know all the month you're going to ask me the same about all you are linking in the media, so I'm not going to talk. So you can insist, I'm not going to answer because I don't know the situation. We know that we should not go to the transfer window. I don't like much. If the situation would happen that season with many injuries and we have to try to do it because the situation that's what it is. So, but what happened, I'm not going to talk because I don't know. I know, of course, I have conversations with the club, but what the process didn't happen, I don't know what's going to happen because it's so difficult. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Otherwise, I cannot say anything else.
Well, that was very polite, but not telling us a whole lot. What do we know, Mark?
Do you know what? I feel sorry for reporters. Michael has to do it. I have to do it. We have to go into a press conference and ask the manager about transfers and about targets. And we have this little dance where we bring up the names and we try and find creative ways to say, are you going to sign this player? And every single manager hits it straight back. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's a little bit spiky, as was the case there. But we have to try and do the job. And, of course, the manager doesn't want to talk about players that are another club. Now, this is really interesting because how many times you see Manchester City active in the January transfer window, and you can see the 3 faces there that they've been linked with over the course of the last week. Let's start with the guy in the middle, Omar Mamouche, 25-year-old Egyptian winger. No deal agreed as of yet, but we're expecting Manchester City to approach Eintracht Frankfurt with regards to a deal. Our information is that Omar Mamouche wants to join Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. He's keen on the Premier League, he's keen to join the Premier League champions and wants to work under Pep Guardiola. The problem is the fee. Now, some people are saying to us that Eintracht Frankfurt wants £67 million, which is a huge deal to make happen. And let's be honest, France, Italy, Spain, has anyone in those countries got that type of money to spend? So it almost feels like Manchester City are essentially bidding against themselves or another Premier League side if they decide to show their hand with regards to Mamouche. Now, 2 other players you can see in the screen there. Abu Kadir Kusanov on my right-hand side, closest to you, Nick. Lens defender, 20 years old. Sky in Germany is saying that Manchester City have bid £42 million for him. That's the latest at the moment. No further developments. Talks continue. And this one, young 18-year-old Viktor. He's a centre-back. Talks continue with Palmeiras. On Thursday, there was an initial conversation that carried on from the weekend, but no further agreements at this stage. But we do know that the 2 clubs are talking. 20-year-old, 18-year-old, 25-year-old. Fascinating to see what happens because clearly Manchester City not having a good season.
They've not done a lot in January historically, so are we in different territory now?
I think they've got to do something. I think Pep Guardiola maybe didn't say it as much today, but in his previous press conferences, they want to do something. I spoke to 2 Manchester City supporters on a train a couple of weeks ago. They're actually excited by the second half of the season. They've not been in this position before, and they're intrigued to see what happens. I would say maybe 2 out of those 3 players there are for now. Kusanov has been tracked by not just Manchester City, a number of big Premier League clubs, and I think you can say that as well, can't you?
Yeah, there's definitely one other Premier League club that I know have been watching him. And like all these big players in Europe or around the world, let's be honest, with data and Y-Scout, and every single player that's doing well is known about by Premier League sides. Yeah. It's just a case as to who jumps first and who takes that gamble first.
There's enough of Mamouche for me to say that he is, though, for the now. And in terms of the value, we have to remember that for Frankfurt, they're saying we're having a good season. We're also in Europe, and the new European structure, we're getting games in January, which is unheard of. They're doing well in the Europa League too. So that's the added value, I feel, in this player.
OK, let's move on to Chelsea, are also in European action this year, albeit not the level they would want to be. They're in the market for a defender this month following the injury to Wesley Fofana. Enzo Maresca has admitted he is a fan of former Chelsea defender Mark Gay, who is now the Crystal Palace captain.
The only thing I can say, Margay is Palace player. I like